Hello, beautiful people. Hope you are all doing well. I see we've got quite a few people in the chat, and I do apologise for being late. It's been one of those days again. I was on the phone for about an hour again. I did a sort of briefish run. I was out for about 40 to 50 minutes. And then I was talking to my mum for quite a while. And then I've been working on the tonight's show, and I wanted to type it all up, but I'm afraid I didn't get a chance, so it's all written down by hand. But that's okay. We will manage. We will manage. So I had to put hand cream on, and then I've had a bit of a blip when I put my makeup on. So I've got blue eyeshadow on today. I've sort of gone very 80s, and it's a pale blue. Anyway, I've got a blue eyeliner, which I haven't used for quite a long time. Should probably not have used it. Should probably have put it, thrown it away, because obviously, thank you, Billy, for letting me know. Video and audio fine, brilliant. Sorry, there's just a pop-up's just come up, and I'm like, what did you mean? I'm lost now. I've lost the train of thought. Yeah, so I was heating up the eyeliner. It's a blue eyeliner in front of my little heater because I had it on my feet because my feet were really cold. And so I put it to my eye and realized it had melted far too much, and it was like putting hot lava on it. So it's a bit thick today. That had to match the other side. So yeah, I wasn't going to restart and do the whole process again. So sorry, guys, let me know how your day has been. Just a quick update for anybody who is new to the channel, who may be watching. Sorry, I'm sitting on top of the blanket, and it's like a big bundle because the cats have been... I don't know if anybody else who has cats, their cats sort of just bundle everything up and then sit on top. Or Buttercup digs underneath and makes a little nest for herself, and then I can't see her, and then I lift it up, and then she's like looking at me with these big eyes. Bloody cats. So just some sort of housekeeping before we start. If you are new to the channel, thank you for joining. Please hit the like button. That helps massively with getting with the algorithms and getting the videos out there. Also, if you would like to join the chat, you will have to subscribe to the channel. Wait a minute, and you should be able to chat. Got a wonderful group of people in the chat who I'm going to say hello to in a minute. Absolutely fantastic chat group who are wonderful. Got some great moderators as well. Chris C is my producer, and I didn't even get a chance to get the song up for you today. So I'm going to have to record it and just like, so I can just play it, you know. I don't know how I'll do that, but I'll figure it out. So if you do want to chat, and you perhaps maybe have a question about witchcraft, because today is Witchy Wednesday. So if you have a question about witchcraft or paganism, anything along those lines, ask away in the chat. To make sure I see it, if you can do it at the-witchy-goth, and it shows up on my screen, it highlights it, and I'm able to see it. And then I will answer questions towards the end of the live stream. I am going to try and finish at 7 o'clock tonight because I'm tired. I'm tired. It's cold, and I want to go and snuggle. And there's a movie I want to watch that's come onto Netflix called Tarot. It's a horror, obviously, you know, queen of horror here. And I don't know what it's obviously about tarot cards, and it's probably about, you know, demons, you know, using the tarot cards, you summon demons, which is absolute bollocks. I've used tarot cards for my entire life, and I've never, ever summoned a demon. Sorry, I wanted to do that. So if you are perhaps somebody who does not believe in what I believe in, and you have a genuine question, please ask away. Let's have no rudeness. Let's have no shouting at each other. Anybody who is a troll will be trolled. You will receive the hammer, and you will be banned from chatting. You will be able to watch, but you won't be able to chat. I didn't do a poll today because I was trying to think of a poll to do. And I remembered that yesterday I didn't read the results out of the Pancake Day poll. Sorry. I realised this morning when I was thinking about what poll can I put up today, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what poll to put up. So again, if you have any ideas for a poll, pop it into the comments, and again, highlighted at the _witchy -goth, and I will see it, and then I can make a list of stuff for future polls. Also, if you would like to support the channel, you can click on the link in the comment at the top of the chat to buy me a coffee. So let us have a look and see who is in the chat. Hi, Billy, you were first today. You've got the front center seat. Chris C, thank you for being here. My producer moderator. Hi, Elle, lovely to see you. Who else have we got? Chris, you said here you had a check in the post today from Royal Mail. They have refunded me £10.95 because they missed their special delivery guarantee a few months back. That's brilliant. That's always a bonus. Always a bonus when you receive something that you weren't expecting to receive. Billy, hearing some anecdotal supply issues in the motor trade for independent garages, wrong parts, overcharging, etc. That's interesting, Billy. Are they from specific companies? Is it due to the just-in-time stuff? The reason I'm asking is because when I worked for the courier company in South Africa, we actually did work for Toyota and VW and who else? We had several car parts that we used to do just-in-time deliveries for. So just interested in that. Hi, Draka and Alexis. Thank you for joining. Lovely to see you here. Anybody else join the chat? Hi, Alexis. Lana, lovely to see you, my darling. Hope everything is well down under in the land of New Zealand. Coffee's coming. Nice one. I didn't even get a chance to make myself a cup of tea. Hi, Mithril. Lovely to see you. Sorry, I've got it on the wrong bloody chat. I do this every day. Sorry, guys, I am scrolling. Mithril, lovely to see you. David Jacobson, lovely to see you. You're coming over from Graham's channel. Oh, thank you so much, David. Lovely to meet you. And really, you are welcome. You probably know most of the people in chat already. So, yeah. And it's the same rules apply as Graham's channel, because obviously, you know, there's a lot of people in the chat who are sensitive, and I think most people are sensitive, aren't they? And we have to respect each other when we're talking to each other on certain topics. And I think that it helps to have healthy debate. But yeah, slurs, and unless you know each other and you're, you know, slurring at each other in the way that a lot of you guys do know each other, which is fine. But, you know, let's keep the transphobia, homophobia, racial bigotry out of this, because we're not here for that. Mithril, I want another show that isn't on till tomorrow. Oh, I went to a show that isn't on till tomorrow. Oh no, that's the sort of thing I do, Mithril. That is the sort of thing I do. It really is. How did you manage that, Mithril? Let's find out. Got my Wednesday and my Thursday mixed up. The joys of being out of work, I suppose. Yeah, I was, last week, I was convinced that Friday was Saturday and that Saturday was Sunday and that Sunday was Monday. I'm back up with it now. I know today is Saturday. Hi, Viper Scott. Lovely to see you. Let's have a look. Chrissy Diz sends her apologies. She's modding on the rabbit hole. Oh, not a problem. Thank you, Chris. And tell her I send my love. And I will have to get some confetti sorted out at some stage in the future. So I have reached the end of the comments. So today's chat is all about the Chinese New Year, which we went into yesterday, of the fire horse. Now, Chinese star signs are quite different to our Western astrological signs. There are 12, as there are 12 of the astrological star signs. I have had this book. This book was published, copyrighted 1969, and this was printed in 1976. I have had this book a very, very, very long time. and it still stands today with the information that's in there. So just so you know that this is not a subject that I'm just coming to today. It is actually something that I've been interested in for a good few years. It's 50 years. It's 50 years, isn't it? Wow. I could cry. I could cry when I think that I'm that old. So the Chinese signs, each one lasts for roughly a year. It can change because it depends on when the new moon is. So I've got all my notes here, guys. So I have to read from these notes because there's a whole load of information that I picked up online as well. And I haven't had a chance to link everything into the description box, so I do apologize. So within the Chinese astrological signs, there are, as I said, 12 animals and there are 5 elements. Now, here in the West, we generally refer to the 4 elements: earth, air, fire, water. It's the same in Chinese, except they add in metal. And I think earth is wood, isn't it? So, so it's wood, metal, air, fire, and water in the Chinese star signs. Now, the horse represents independence. It represents energy, forward movement, and momentum. Now, with the fire up its arse, because I watched a video earlier on and I was laughing my head off because the horse was running and its tail was on fire and it looked like it was shitting fire. And I just thought, who designed this really was not paying attention to what it looked like. Oh, Diz's new fix is glitter. Okay, I will have to bear that in mind onto the hard stuff. That's brilliant. Confetti was the gateway drug. Yeah, definitely. Next, she'll be wanting unicorns farting rainbows, which I actually have something up there that is a unicorn with a rainbow tail. Don't tell Diz. Don't tell Diz. So horses are all about movement and intensity. And with the fire being added to that, this really does intensify things 1,000-fold. It's a year for looking at your ambitions. So what are you passionate about? And if you've got a pen and paper, you may want to take notes if you're interested. You don't have to, obviously. Although if you do, there will be a test later. And it's all about ambition and boldness in those ambitions. And it brings it to the forefront of your life. Now, last year, it was the year of the snake, which was all about shedding. And I have actually written a spell and my snake skin is over there. So if we've got time, I'll do the spell and then I shall burn the snake skin and some other objects that I have. But we'll see if we've got enough time for that. Right. Okay. So what are your ambitions? What do you want to do? So I've spent a lot of time over the last year contemplating my YouTube channel and my life moving forwards. And as you know, I've taken a back seat from my studies until October this year. And I just feel so much relief from doing that. However, I am feeling the need to begin teaching witchcraft again. So my current manual, I've been editing it for a while now to make it into a book, and so that it's something that, you know, is readable, because it's obviously when you're teaching something, it's a little bit different to how it would read. Sorry, guys, frog in my throat. And so I'm considering doing that as like a course. It'll be 2 hours a week. I'm not sure what the cost will be, but you will get an email copy of that manual and you will work from that. And obviously there's a fee, and yeah, so I'm not sure what that will be as yet or when it will be, but it's something that I can actually put together quite quickly because I have all the knowledge and all the information already in my manual. So if you do know of anybody who wants to learn about witchcraft, which is good for beginners, it would be a good course for beginners, and anybody who wants to brush up on topics and so on. And depending on how near or far people are, then maybe, you know, we may look at getting together at some stage after the course and, you know, have a sort of celebration or something. So think about what you want to attain over the next 12 months. So as I say, my witchcraft course is one of them, but also building my YouTube channel. And I've got loads of ideas. I have spoken about some of them. A lot of it is to do with technology, and so many people have said they will help with that, and I still have not gotten around to my emails. I do apologize. I am not doing a live stream on Thursday evenings anymore. I'm giving myself a day off, because one thing that is important with the Year of the Horse and the fast movement that it has is to make sure you set aside time for yourself so that you don't become overwhelmed. So those Thursdays I'm going to use for other things, probably a pamper session. I'll probably do a long run. You know me. I'll probably go and do a 6 to 10K run, because that's me. And other things that I want to do, that I have around the house that I want to complete. And I want to get back into my painting and into my crocheting. And there's a whole load of stuff that I want to do. Plus there's sorting out this room and the other rooms. And I'm also thinking of doing some yoga videos, releasing one a week with a specific pose that, people could practice. There would be no cost at that. Obviously, it would be a short video. It wouldn't be anything long. It would just be sort of, and it would be for beginners. I would not look at doing anything ridiculously, headstands, handstands, balance, hand balancers, postures. That would be, they're just difficult. They're difficult for me. So it will be beginner stuff. And there's a whole load of other stuff that I want to include as well. So some of it will be an experiment to see how it goes. So, let me know. You guys let me know what you think will, you will be interested in. And let me know if you have any ideas, or if you think of any direction that I should go. You can email me. I promise I will get back to those emails tomorrow at thewitchygoth@gmail.com. I have to remember that, because it's not my main email account. Mithril, there's an old saying with horse folk: light her up. It means give the horse a whack to liven her up. Yeah, I don't like the whacking of horses. I get so upset. I can't watch racing. I just can't when they start whipping the horses. It just makes me want to cry. I have ridden horses. And the one that I used to ride, Clarinet, she was a 17 hands high ex-race horse who was just impossible. She was impossible. Fell off. I'm really good at falling. I say this all the time. Falling is my number one sort of activity. And if there was a medal for falling, I would win it every single time. Mithril said something else here. Oh, Chris says, I've been busy coding my new OMS today. I hadn't even noticed the 3 sales I have had. That's wonderful. Congratulations. Mithril, and if a dealer had a horse that was a bit knackered, when someone came to buy, they would stick a lump of root ginger up its bum to make the horse more lively. Yeah, I've heard about that as well. I have heard about that as well. Poor horses. I tell you, I know that they're beasts of burden, but I'm an animal lover. I am an animal lover. And I know a lot of people are afraid of spiders. I'm not. I'm real. Gigantic ones I am. But when I say gigantic ones, I'm talking about the ones that are the size of a hand, like baboon spiders or red Romans or tarantulas. I don't like them. They just look evil. Lana, very interested. I just bought a bunch of probably useless related stuff off Temu. You know what? Temu actually have some pretty good stuff, so I wouldn't say it's useless. You are welcome to email me and sort of take photos of what you've got. And, I'm pretty sure I buy some stuff from, I don't use Temu, I use Shine. I prefer Shine. Temu, I have found some of the quality is not that great, but I'm pretty sure it will be fine. Witchy Goth, so glad you're taking a day off so you don't burn out, my friend. Exactly. And it's very important. I've figured out now that if I am racing, I need to take the day off the next day, because it's the adrenaline, it's the rush, it's that energy that you put into it. I mean, I can run 6 to 10 kilometers on a day. And yeah, I'll be tired, but it's not going to affect me the next day, as in just exhausted. But running that far in a race, you know, you're pushing yourself hard, and I do feel that exhaustion. And then when I go to the pagan festivals as well, I've realized that I need to take a day off when I get back because I am so tired. And it's, again, it's the excitement, it's the fun, it's all of the, you know, the camaraderie, the energy that is raised and that is spent in ritual circle. And it's the same if I've been to a music festival or even a gig. Gigs locally, not too bad, but if I've got to drive to Manchester or Liverpool or Nottingham or whatever, you know, then it's a fair drive. Like, I'm going to see Youngblood in Sheffield in April, and that's like a 30-minute drive, so that's okay. But you know, some drives, if you're driving 2 hours in a car for a gig, you've got to drive 2 hours to get there, then you're at the gig, then you've got to get to the car and pay the parking. Normally I book parking beforehand, and then you've got to drive home again at night, and it is exhausting. Maybe do a painting live stream in the future. Oh, Vibe Scott, I'm not that good. I'm really not that good. It's a good idea, but yeah, I'm not that good. There are a couple of paintings that I've done behind, and there's a couple of, I might show them. I might take photos of them and upload them, but I'm not a brilliant painter. I'm more of a, you know, sort of slap paint on a canvas. Chris C, I rode horses when I was a kid, stopped after the horse I was on decided to take a dismount, dismount me by going under a low-hanging tree branch. Yeah, they have a tendency of doing things like that, don't they? I didn't have an issue with the indigenous spiders. It's the ones that you find in Africa, South America, Australia, I have a massive problem with. Yeah. Hi, Mel. Lovely to see you, my darling. Thank you for joining. Yeah, those it's those big, scary, hairy ones that I don't like. Yes, if you could please hit the like button, that would be a great help. You tell him, Mel, you tell him, sit down, have a cup of tea. And how on earth anyone thinks they make good pets is beyond me. Same with snakes. I actually don't mind snakes as pets. When I was doing belly dancing years ago, my teacher had pythons, and we used to practice with them, and that was okay. They were not gigantic pythons, though. They were quite small, but big enough that you could hold them, you know. They're heavy. You wouldn't believe how heavy they actually are. But spiders, no. I've got friends who've got pet spiders, and I just, no. No. The cats would eat them anyway. Hoping some good energy runs off you. You need your medicine tomorrow. Okay. What medicine is that? Is it medicine from the pharmacy, or is it from the other pharmacy, the other pharmacy? It must be their thing. Yeah, it must be their thing. Sorry, I'm trying to keep this one goes. Oh, I need to do pewter work. Come back to the fire horse, Debbie. Come back to the fire horse. So this is all about your drive and how are you going to move forwards. And because it's the fire horse, things are going to move really, really fast. You're probably going to feel like a bit of a headless chicken. So it's very important that you make a list of those things that are important to you this year. Try not to get distracted by other things, but also it's a good idea to think about things before you do them. So you may be asked by somebody, do you want to take part in this opportunity? And you may be thinking, like, yeah, I want to do that. Take a few hours to think about it first. Maybe, you know, slow yourself down to think about it before you accept it, because, you know, looking at everything without that initial excitement will give you the sort of intuition, because you need to trust your intuition here as well, to should I do it or shouldn't I do it? It's also about sociability. Now, I know a lot of us on here are not very sociable people. We'd rather socialize over the internet. That's our way of connection, which is a good thing. To be honest, it's a good thing, because, I mean, I was a Gen Xer, and somebody asked the other day, you know what, I think I said this yesterday, what was the biggest technological advance that has happened since, you know, in your lifetime? And it's like mobile phones. You know, for me, it's a mobile phone. You've got a computer that fits in your hand. You can phone a person, you can see a person, you can record, you can take photos, you can connect to the internet, you can ask questions, you can book an appointment, you can play games. There's, you know, in my wildest dreams as a child, I would never have imagined that that would be the case. So yeah, there are those changes that we go through in our lives. So the horse is all about activity, putting effort into things as well, and always moving forward. So no looking back. So if it's something that you've said no to, leave it. Set boundaries around yourself as well. Put those in place. It's a lot of people, I'm not saying any of you, but many people struggle with boundaries, struggle with saying no. Specifically saying no because we feel guilt if somebody asks us to give them a lift somewhere and it's inconvenient for you and you don't really want to, but there's a part of you that, because you're empathic or just a nice person, your immediate reaction or response is to say yes. Learn to say no without feeling guilty, and you do not have to give a reason for saying no either. No is a full sentence. And if somebody says to you, why? Just say, well, no. You do not have to expand on it. Don't let people guilt trip you into doing things that you do not want to do, because so often controlling, coercive people will do that. They will guilt trip you. That can happen in friendships, in relationships. It can happen in so many different places. Those that are born under the horse will find themselves being very active, you know, making a lot of effort and always moving forwards, looking forwards. Strong intuition, aware of their own autonomy, not just bodily autonomy, but your own autonomous being and what you do around you. And you will notice shifts in pace or in focus. Now, guys, I can't do it from this book because this book is 1976, but there are sites on there where you can go and click on a link to see what Chinese sign you are. You put in your year and the date of your birth and the year, because it starts January, February time. And then you can find out what your Chinese astrological sign is. I'm a rooster. I'm a rooster. I think that's a bit boring. I really do think it's a bit boring. But yeah. My sister's a monkey. And, you know, read up on your own Chinese sign and see how it fits with you in life, because, you know, the Chinese signs are not about fortune telling. They're not about telling your future. It's more about symbolism within yourself. And you may find that you have some traits that I was like, oh, I get that. Like the rooster is all about sort of being cocky, you know, strutting. And yeah, that can be me. That can be me sometimes. I will own up to these things. The elements rotate with the signs. So, as I said, you've got those 5 elements: wood, metal, air, fire, and water, and you've got the 12 signs. So last year was, I think it was the wood snake. I know I wrote it down somewhere and I can't remember where I wrote it down. And this year is the fire horse. So next year, I'm not sure what it's going to be. I didn't, again, time, not had a chance to check. But it's very fast paced and directional. See, it's already fast paced. It just changed yesterday and already things are moving quickly for me. And directional. So you will be going forwards, not retreating backwards. Like even with my studies that start again in October, it's a new manual that I will be receiving. So I couldn't bank my scores from my last essay, which was 80. And I'm really upset about that because it's a pretty good score. So yeah, I'm going to have to do, whole new stuff. So it's not going backwards, it's going forwards. Mithril, you've just said you're a horse. Definitely need some ginger up the bum though. Or you could drink ginger tea. That's probably a little bit more healthy. I honestly would not want to stick ginger or chilies, or, or even garlic up my bum. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Off to the bin. Thank you, Billy. Thank you for being here. Look after yourself. Indy, you're a rat and a duck. Okay, that's fine. That's a life changer. No, with no reason for me anyway. Still learning. Sorry, I've missed something here. Okay, I'm gonna. Okay, I can see lots of. You're all having conversations, which is great. No, the most misunderstood word in the English language, Chrissy. Absolutely, it is. It is. If somebody says no, do not push them. Do not coerce them. Say, okay. When you go to somebody's house and would you like another piece of cake? Well, my response is normally yes. And if I can't finish, I'll say, can I take it home with me? Cake. But, if your response is going to be no, and they're going to be a feeder, that person is a feeder, and they're going to say, no, have a piece of cake. No, thank you. Like I say, Miyabi, can I take the whole cake with me? Chill up where? What we're talking about there, Mel? Okay, so it's about being visible and it's about confidence. Now, there are going to be strong emotions as well, which is why it's important to take a step back. If you are offered something and given a new idea and you think, oh, that sounds good, I'm going to do that. Take a day or a few hours before you go forwards with that decision so that you are allowing yourself time to see, how is this going to fit into my life? I've got these projects that I'm working on. Can I fit it in? Years ago, I would have gone onto Microsoft project and I would have set it up in a very sort of anal way, because that I wouldn't call it OCD, I would call it more anal than OCD, and I would mark it off, and these are the weeks that I'm going to get it done. I've changed my way of tracking my goals now, and it's much easier and it's less stress on me too. Right, next page. The qualities that are associated with the fire horse are momentum and ambition. And I've already mentioned that. Courage and visibility. So it's all about being seen and having that courage to move forwards. Confidence in speaking up. So often, many people don't speak up, don't say what they think or feel. When I go to the doctors, I tell them, this is what's wrong with me. And they look at me and they think, okay, I've already read her thing, she's mental, but I'm also a yoga teacher. And part of my yoga teaching was to study anatomy and physiology. But anyway, don't let people walk all over you. Independence and self-direction, as well as personal freedom. For many of us who are in relationships, perhaps we have a husband or a wife, or, a partner that takes a lot of our time up. Make sure that you take time for yourself as well. Often when we are in a partnership, one person or the other or both feel the need to sort of manage that person and to be with that person 24/7. But we all need our own personal space, and it can be very difficult if you spent your life being the person who does everything for that partner of yours. Restlessness may lead to impatience. But remember, sometimes we need to have patience. It is very important that we have patience sometimes in life. One of the lessons that I found in my life is to learn to have patience. which is very difficult in this day and age because we all want instant gratification. You know, we go onto Amazon, we buy a thing, so next day delivery, because I'm an Amazon Prime member, so it's free of charge for me. So I'll order that and it'll arrive tomorrow. You know, so sometimes we have to step back and go, okay, do I really, really need another deck of tarot cards? No. Be discerning with your choices if you're going to buy something. But like if it's from Temu and it's like a couple of quid for a deck of cards, what the heck? Impulsivity and reactivity may be things that you respond to. So, you know, like an impulse buy in a shop, like, oh, that's nice, I'll buy that handbag. And then you get home and you think, why did I buy this? Keep your receipts. Impulsivity of sort of like, you know, signing up for a course or something, and then when it comes to it, it's like, I just don't want to do this. Think about it. Make sure you get the information that you need before you go ahead. Reacting to people, a lot of the time, and this is very delicate when we're talking about politics, and I know I need to react less, is to sit back and think about what that person said. You know, you are not going to change somebody's mind like that. It's going to take a lot of conversation with a lot of statistics, and not talking down to them as well. You know, we have to sort of edge them towards the right political choice. And I'm specifically speaking about politics, and most of you know why, because we don't want to live in a fascist state. And you may be forced to make fast decisions. So if you have got your ambitions and goals that you want to do over the next 12 months, and somebody wants you to do something else that isn't in that plan, have a look at saying no, have a look at saying not right now, maybe in a month's time. Let's look at some comments. Smartwatch told me to go to bed between 8:20 and 9:30 tonight. Yeah, right. I actually do go to bed around 8:30, but then I'm awake till 2. Mine has tried that. I turned the notification off and said, not very smart, are you? If you think that's going to happen. Chris says, might have to be something to do with the fact that I don't drag my sorry behind to bed before midnight last night. Yeah. Mithril, I'm an angler, a very bad one. So people think I know all about patience. Yeah. Maybe there's a fishing lake behind me, so I see a lot of anglers, and sometimes I'll stop and watch what they're doing, you know, if they're catching anything, and it's interesting to see them catch stuff. But I mean, if I was going to go and sit somewhere by a lake, I would take a blanket and a picnic, and I'd sit there and meditate. But we each have our own hobbies. Mine is running, and I love it. And you know, some people think, oh my God, you're crazy. That's perfectly fine. We all have our choices of hobbies that we follow. You want to talk about patience, try coding a piece of software and going around in a circle when it throws errors at you. How the computer has survived today is a miracle. It is a miracle, but Chrissy, a lot of it was done by women. The initial coding was done by women. Just saying. Elle, you fell asleep. Bucket of water over your head. Right. Okay, so coming back to some tips for guidance through this next year that's going to be fast moving, it's going to be stimulating. You're probably going to have to make some decisions about what you're going to want to do. You may find that things are happening on the same days that you want to do them. And I've noticed that. I've like looked at things, oh, I want to do that and I want to do that, but they all fall on the same date. It's like, okay, which one am I going to do? It's like I've got the chance to go to the Maiden Festival that's happening. They've now made it into a 2-day festival, and it falls on the same weekend as a race that I wanted to do, but I hadn't booked yet. So I'm going to do the Maiden thing because, you know, it's Iron Maiden, and I've seen them live before in South Africa, but that was with Blaze Bailey and not with Bruce Dickinson. So I think I have to see them. I think it's important that I see them. I think they're doing the whole of the Run to the Hills album as well, which is my favorite. So it can be an overstimulating time. So number one, choose a clear direction before you move forward. As I've already said, what is the year about for you? What is it that you want to accomplish or achieve? And why are you making those decisions? What is it that is sparking those decisions for you? You know, perhaps looking at a central area for yourself. Is it health? Is it finances? Is it a skill? Is it a relationship? You know, what is the sort of main header, if you like? What's the name of the book? And write down one sentence for it, for focus. Number two, break goals into grounded steps. This is where I would need Microsoft Project, you see, because then I can break those goals down. As an example, okay, because I'm really not good at housework, but cleaning my kitchen. First thing, do the dishes. Second thing, sweep and mop and do the countertops and the cupboard doors. Then start sorting out the cupboards, getting rid of old stuff, cleaning the appliances, and, you know, sort of making sure that all the cupboards are packed correctly. That's a breakdown of what needs to happen in my kitchen. Oh yeah, cleaning the windows, cleaning the doors, you know, dusting the ceiling, getting rid of all the cobwebs and so on, checking the light bulbs, you know, things like that. So sort of look at that goal. So I want to get this manual turned into something, because it needs to be updated. It's over 20 years old, so it needs to be updated. So I want to get that manual turned into something that I can teach online. So there'll be some differences. And how am I going to do that? How am I going to break it down? Then number three, schedule rest. Schedule rest into your diary and make sure you do it. Make sure you take that rest. So I've said to myself, like, I enjoy going live on Sunday evenings. I do. I think it's a good laugh. I like that show, Stuff and Nonsense. And then Monday nights, I'm changing into Misogyny Mondays, where I'm going to be talking about men and women and issues and how men can help women. And Tuesday will be my What's Going On show. Wednesday, Witchy Wednesday. Thursday, no show. And Friday will be WTF. So I've got some really good ones for you tomorrow, guys. Some really, really good ones for tomorrow on the WTF. So that'll be at 3. That'll be at 3 p.m. It might go up to 5, but I will definitely be ending before Daily Blase starts his Friday Frolics. Chris, would you mind popping Daily Blase link into the chat for me? Thank you. So if you don't already follow Darren over at Daily Blase, he's absolutely brilliant. Love his stuff. He's a Yorkshireman as well. So that just, you know, being a Yorkshire lass me sen. So schedule that rest in. Don't let yourself burn out. As Viper Scott said earlier on, you know, he's glad that I'm taking a day's break. It's not going to really be a break because I've got other things that I need to do, but a break from live streaming, because I like to, when I live stream, plan what I'm going to say. There's sometimes I come on here and, you know, fly by the seat of my pants, but most of the time I like to have notes. I like to know what I'm talking about. And there are times when I make errors, and I've got my producer, Chris, to help me with stuff. Daily Blase is Friday. Yes, tomorrow is Thursday, Mel. Today's Saturday, though. Just saying. Politics with a Yorkshire twist. Aye up. So make sure you schedule that rest in. Also, perhaps have a look at a bedtime routine. I am terrible at bedtime, absolutely terrible. I need to bring certain things back into my routine rather than doom scrolling. I need to stop the doom scrolling. It is a very bad habit, because I'll click on stories. This is doom scrolling through newspaper articles and websites and things like that, science stuff, and, you know, all the stuff that I talk about. And I like scroll through and think, oh, that's interesting, that's interesting, that's interesting. And by the time I've finished, it's 2 a.m. and it's like, you know, so I'm getting up late and my day is being lost. Microsoft Project is now Microsoft Planner. Okay, if you are subscribed to Microsoft 365, it's included. I've got it free through the OU. got it free through the OU, and I get it free 5 years after my degree as well. So yeah, but I'm not going to use it because it's just more stuff that I've got to sit in front of a computer and do. I have a book which I have X amount of pages for each month, and that's how I do it now. It's a lot easier, it's simpler, and it's something that I can do every morning when I'm sat with a cup of tea. So yeah, it is a bonus. It is a bonus, Chrissy. It is. And, you know, I've got 24-hour support as well on it, on the OU website. I can still access the website. I can't access the course that I was on, but I can access all of the areas of the website plus the OU library, which is huge. It's absolutely huge. So, you know, studying through the OU is actually a really good thing. Hi, Sir Larry the Cat, the frolicker in chief himself, the one and only legend that is Daz Daily Blase Frolic yourself, silly at 5 p.m. on a Friday. Thank you, Sir Larry, for that comment. Yeah, we have put a link to his channel because he's brilliant. I love his stuff. I do. And I don't get to watch everything anymore because there's so much going on and so much that I'm, you know, researching for my own shows. So I try and catch up every now and again. So number 4, I've already mentioned this, pause before your big reactions. And this is something that I need to pay attention to when dealing with comments from people that are less fortunate in brain cells, and respond to them not in a shouty way, but take a step back and maybe just not respond at all. So taking slow breaths, wait before you send a message. So if you've got an issue with something and you are angry about it, sit back and say, okay, I'm going to leave that email till later and I'll email them when I'm a little bit more calmed down. Have a short walk before you make your decision. It'll help clear your mind out. And if you've got somebody that you can talk it through with and look at all the pros and cons, do so. If not, make pros and cons. So, you know, what is the positive for you? What is the negative for you? What does Sir Larry say? Sorry, I see Brexiters, witchy. Yeah, Brexiters and fascists and deformers and yeah, those people. Yeah, I'm not on Twitter anymore. I came off Twitter when Musk took over. I just cannot support a misogynist like him. I do have TikTok, but I really don't use it very much anymore. I don't really use Instagram, although I've got an Instagram account. I'm Facebook, you know, I'm a Gen Xer. Most of my mates are on Facebook, so I sort of stick to Facebook. My plans tomorrow are very much up in the air. It's snowing again. Yeah, we're supposed to get snow here tonight as well. So my run will be down the Greenway, which is pretty flat. So it'll be much easier than going up to the woods, because I was so happy yesterday and today. The mud in the woods has turned to that harder, sticky mud, which is easier to run in and you don't slip. And then with the snow, it's going to go back to being like worse than an ice ring. I'm terrible with routine, doom scroll a lot, and I spend most of the day making AI prompts for a living. Need to make some changes. Good advice. Yeah, I must admit I've been using AI a lot more for my images on my posts, but that's just on ChatGPT. So, you know, so I just do that there quickly, and it's got to know me now and know my tastes and stuff. So it produces images that I like, and I don't have to go and edit them so much. But started more using AI on Google now as well for information, rather than going to a site and reading through 10 pages before I find the thing that I was actually looking for, but then referring back to, you know, from the Google AI, referring back to the site that it came from when I need to. Twatter, shitter, any other name it goes by. Yeah. Supposed to tell, listen to some politicians tomorrow, might go full Scottish on them. Ooh, what politicians are they? What politicians are they? Yeah, it's Thursday tomorrow, isn't it? I'm not sure what shows are on tomorrow because we didn't have PMQs today. And I've not been watching PMQs because it falls when I'm running. Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you this at the end. Let's go through all of this first. So Taking that meditation, making some time for yourself. Now, mindfulness practice, they recommend a mindfulness practice, and that can be really, really difficult for us because we're always multitasking. We've got our phones, we've got our TVs, we've got our computers. I struggle with taking time to eat my food. I always eat in front of a computer, in front of the TV, while I'm lying in bed. And I need to set that time aside to eat mindfully. I'm not saying that you need to do that, but have a look at something in your life where you think you maybe need to be a little bit more mindful. Because I'm with chocolate. With chocolate, I'm terrible. You know, excuse me, guys. Let's say I've got a box of chocolates in front of me. I don't even look at what I'm doing. I'm just like Homer Simpson. And then it's gone and I've eaten them all. And I'm like, oh my God, you fat cow. What are you doing? And stop talking bad to yourself as well. So taking that pause as well and see, does it fit in with your life and what you want to do? So, for example, if I was asked today, do you want to join a band? Do you want to come and sing for us? I would love to, but is that as important as what I actually want to do with the witchcraft side of things? Not really. So, yeah, I'd rather just do the karaoke stuff. Also, if you are thinking of doing something extra and somebody wants you to do something extra, what will you have to sacrifice to fit that in? Can you sacrifice something? Is there something that you can say, okay, I can get rid of that to do this? So, we can't do too many things at the same time. And take a think about how will it affect you at the end of the week? Tiredness, exhaustion. Will you feel resentful because you didn't get a chance to do X, Y, Z? Number 6, focus your physical energy with intent, moving mindfully. So if you go for a walk, put the phone in your pocket. It drives me mad. And I know I very rarely look at my phone when I'm walking because, as most of you know, I'm really good at falling over. And it would just be too dangerous. But I really do get upset when I see, for example, and I'm not saying that we all do this, but if I see a mother with a baby in a pushchair and she's got a dog on a lead and she's reading on her phone, I think to myself, you are not enjoying seeing your child grow and seeing your dog be outside. That's just my opinion. That doesn't mean that we've all got the same opinion, but it does upset me when I see, I'm running and there's a guy walking towards me with a phone in his hand and he doesn't even realize that I'm there. So I go, hey up, or I'm running and there's somebody in front of me and they've got headphones on or earbuds in, and I give them a fright when I run past them, So yeah, sometimes it's like they're walking, sorry, got something on my tooth. I have a mirror just to check that my makeup's not run. When I walk up to the woods or run up to the woods, I want to hear the birds. I want to feel the bloody 26 mile an hour eastern wind that was blowing in today. Oh my God, it was cold. It was bitter. I had my face mask on, but I have to have I can't cover my mouth and nose. My face was tingling when I got back. It was that cold. My legs were tingling. So make sure that you are paying attention to things. If you're going for a walk in a wood or in a park, listen to the birds, look at the animals, look at the trees that have got little buds on them. Even if it's just for 5 minutes, put your phone away for 5 minutes and just see what you see around you. And anybody who wants to do a little bit of homework, you could do a little essay, 50 words, drop it in my email. I'll get to it eventually. And sort of, if you've been out and you've seen stuff, write it down. It's just a bit of homework for you. You don't have to do it. I have my journal. And that's the sort of thing that I write in there. Today, yesterday I saw a hawk, which was amazing. Not a sparrow hawk either. One of the ones with the blue wings on the back and the red bit on the front, smaller than a sparrow hawk. So things like that, it's like, wow, you know, I don't see these things all the time, but I think that it is good that we are able to be conscious and aware of what's happening. So also taking stretches through the day. And I know some of us are not able to, some of us may be bound to sit, but you can always stretch out your arms or your hands or your fingers, you know, and do some stretches like that. If you're able to stand up, do some standing stretches, nothing hard, nothing, you know, too expansive. I mean, I try and set my alarm on my watch for like every 45 minutes to get up and do some stretches and then sit down again if I'm busy sat down, because you don't realize how long you sat down for. And because if I don't, my knees start to lock and my thighs start to cramp, not cramp, but get sore. So I think it's good to sort of move around a little bit, stretch out the body, because what happens to the spine as we get older and we're sat in front of our computers or with our phones is that we start to slump and we start to get that, I can't remember what it's called now. I think the nickname for it is a widow's hump. So yeah, take that time to sit up straight, move your shoulders a little bit. Just, you know, you don't have to do any of this. And then have a think, what does independence mean to you? We've all got different ideas of our independence and what it would be. And I think, Mel, you've probably got something there that you would like to be more independent with. And I understand that completely. And I bless you for, you know, what you're going through at the moment and everything. You know, I think it's something that many of us, sorry, that's the table leg. It's one of those where the legs pull out. I think, yeah, good chair, office or wheelchair is crucial to help that. Yeah, exactly. You do need a good office chair or a good wheelchair. And, you know, because I used to teach chair yoga, and so I had a lot of people that would come in and were not good balancing or on the feet. So we would sit in a chair and I would teach them various arm movements and stretching out the back and the neck and everything, and sort of different stretches to stretch out the sides of the neck. Gently though, if you're going to stretch, do it gently, because otherwise you might injure yourself. Always listen to your body. Always listen to your body. If your body is screaming at you, don't do it. You know, a dull ache is fine. A sharp stabbing pain is not fine. So make sure you look after yourself. A street hawk. Notre Daming of the neck. Yes. Listen to your body. Exactly, Chris. Listen to your body. That's it. So like my mum, I'll say to her, I went running today. She said, well, don't overdo it. Or like, I pay attention to what my body says. One of the things that yoga teaches you is to listen to your body and what's happening in it. And like I said at the beginning, going to the doctors, I know what's wrong with me before I get there, or have a good idea of what's wrong with me. But what does your independence mean to you? Does it mean that you have a car and can go out in a car? Does it mean that you can go out for a walk, or in the case of Mel, for a ride on your wheelchair? You know, I don't know what kind of wheelchair you have and sort of how limited you are in mobility, because obviously, you know, some people in wheelchairs need them for a certain length of time. Some people can move around a bit more. And, you know, there's quadriplegics as well that are not able to move any part of their body. And that to me, it would be, how those people manage and cope, I do not know, but they are brave. They are very, very brave. Also, set clear work hours for yourself. So you're not working over into extra time, if that makes sense. Now, I know when it comes to me getting an essay in, when I go back to my studies, I'm going to be working late, but I know that. So I am prepared for that. Budget with your money. Bad at that. I'll leave that there. Prioritize your needs over other people's needs. Because at the end of the day, you are the only one responsible for you, unless you're a little baby and you've got a parent. But you need to put your needs before other people's needs, because if you aren't happy and you've got children, your children are not going to be happy. That is going to affect them in the long run. Nearly done. Work with your community, this community here that you guys are looking at the moment. This community, if you can't get out, this community or any Discord servers that you belong to, maybe you've got a local community or support group that you go to, perhaps you have a therapist, but talk things through with people as and when you can. And you might think that I'm talking a load of bollocks, and that's perfectly fine. I'm not going to be offended if that's what, she's a load of crap. I really don't mind. It doesn't offend me at all. So maybe you think, well, yeah. And if this isn't for you, it's not for you. It's fine. It's fine. You do not have to take any of this advice at all. You can carry on doing your own thing. And perhaps you've already got a good routine set up. Perhaps you're already aware of what your goals are, what your ambitions are, or, where you want to be. So finishing up now with the fire horse, it's the fire paired with the horse brings more assertion with yourself. So you may find that you are more assertive over people, more able to say, I'm not doing that, I'm doing this, this is what I'm going to do. Energetically as well, you may be more physical energetically. Please let me be faster running. You may find that you've got a little bit of impatience. So remember, I did talk about this earlier, that, patience is sometimes a good thing to learn, because we have become that society of instant gratification. So there's this need for reflection. And that's why it's often a good idea for a journal. I have a handwritten journal. You may want to put it on your phone. You can use it into your speak thing. You may want to write it on your laptop, computer, whatever works for you. But just a few minutes to sort of, okay, this was a good thing that happened today. Hi, Pete. It's lovely to see you. Oh, you had dialysis. I thought you did. I thought Wednesday was one of your dialysis days. Oh, bless you. And don't apologize, Pete. You don't have to. You do not have to. You really don't. We understand. We understand. So we strive for this, to get things done immediately, but we need to be patient with it. Like, I'm so patient with my dishes. I'm so patient with my dishes. So that need for reflection, and look at sort of things, well, I could be doing this a little bit better. Maybe I could spend another couple of minutes on my meditation. Some of you may enjoy that fast-paced moving things. I know years ago when I was working in the corporate environment and I worked in IT, I had so many projects that I was working on at the time. Obviously, I was a project manager at that time, and I had people doing those projects, but a lot to, stay on top of. So at that time, a faster pace for me was good. Now I want to slow down. I want nice and chilled, except my running. Be intentional as well about your response to that faster pace. So if it's something that you want to say, no, I'm not doing that, I'm going to take my time doing it, then take your time. You are in charge of you, nobody else is. Rest, consider things before you make a decision, and adding in mindful practices are all really good things to take on board. And perhaps look at adding into your life. I'm not saying that you need to, it's completely up to you how you want to move forward. But energetically, the year of the snake, we were letting go of things, and there was all this shedding going on. And some of us may have found it really, really difficult to get through the last month. I know I did, and a friend of mine that I chat to, she was also struggling with it, and the energy was really intense. This energy is going to be possibly more intense, but we've done the shedding. We've let go of those things that we no longer have a need for, that don't serve us anymore. And now we are reaching for those goals in the future. So I'm going to have a look at some of the comments now. You say you're from South Africa. Have you been to Table Mountain? I'm just asking, as I say, it's one of the Earth's primary energy vortexes. Can certainly feel it when you go up that mountain. Yes, I have. I've sat on the edge of it. This was years ago. I lived in Cape Town for a while. I'm not from South Africa originally. I was born in Doncaster, and then my parents moved to South Africa in 1982, and I moved back here in 2006. So I've been here for 20 years this year. Wow. So yeah, Table Mountain, amazing energy, but there are loads of places with amazing energy in South Africa. There's a just north of Johannesburg, well, say it's north of Pretoria, really, in Gauteng. There's an area called the Cradle of Humankind, which is where it's believed that all life stems from, and that's got amazing energy. It's like going to Stonehenge or Avebury. I mean, I go to, I don't know if Draca and Alexis are still watching, but we often go up to Thornborough, which is in North Yorkshire, close to Thirsk and Ripon and Masham. And the energy there in that henge is just phenomenal. So I think the Earth has got all these different energy places that we can connect to and feel in ourselves and in our lives. But yeah, when I went up to the top of Table Mountain, they had very limited amenities at the top. It was mostly, very rocky, lots of dassies, which are sort of like rabbits without ears, long ears, and they're always shagging, always. I've got photos from those days, which I'll have to hunt out in proper photo albums, proper photos, not stuff on here, that I can hunt out and load up on here at some stage in the future. But yeah, everywhere has energy. Some areas have better energy, some areas have bad energy. But yeah, top of Table Mountain is brilliant. And especially when they call it the tablecloth, when the tablecloth comes over, which is, there has to be a certain weather condition, and then the cloud comes over the top of the table and down. And it's just amazing to see. When I lived in Cape Town, my kitchen looked towards Table Mountain because I was in Table View, which is on the, so if you are looking north, Table Mountain, so I was on the more of the west coast, sort of, not that far outside of Cape Town. It was all part of the Cape Town area. And so, yeah, the beach was close by. I remember that this was amazing. This was absolutely amazing. I'd gone to the beach one day. I'd taken my basket with all my bits and bobs in to write and draw and paint and stuff. And this was not a beach that you could swim in. The water is the Atlantic and cold. And also there's a shelf that just drops down. And the sand the sea is strong. It's not the kind of sea that you can just paddle in. No. This is the sea that, the surfers surf in. And I saw, as I walked down the sort of entrance onto the beach, there were two surfers sat with their boards. I'm thinking, but the waves, look at the waves. Why aren't they out there? And then I saw two pilot whales mating. It was just the most incredible thing I have ever seen. And I just sat down and watched. I don't know how long I was there. It was a long time, probably a couple of hours, and watched them as they were breaching, and it was just brilliant. They were so close to the beach, as I say, because the sand, the beach itself, it drops so suddenly. So they were able to come in so close. It was just an amazing sight to see. Sometimes you are so lucky that you get to see something like that in your life, and these things stick with you. And I didn't have my camera, and we didn't have mobile phones back then, so I don't have photos. And I wish that I could, relive that again, maybe on a video. There's sharkies. Yes, there are sharkies. There are sharkies. There are shark nets in Durban. If you go to Durban Beach, that's the Indian Ocean, much warmer, but also riptides, very, very bad riptides, and there are shark nets. So you swim in a certain area, they have the sort of flags and everything, and you're allowed to swim there, because if you swim over there, you may get chomped. Did I sample myself some Redbeard? Sir Larry the Cat? Many times. Many times. Many, many times, as well as Malawi and all other sorts of Durban poison, and many, 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 many times, many times. When I lived there, though, it wasn't legal. It was still illegal. But I lived the last sort of couple of years that I lived there. I lived in I had quite a big house. I didn't own it. I rented it, and I had other people living with me, and we were growing stuff. So yeah, but I don't do that anymore, because now I run and I need to protect my lungs. Penguins over sharks. There are jackass penguins in South Africa. Those are those little tiny ones. They're so cute. They are so cute. Are they called viergal? No, so they do have penguins. If you go to Boulders Beach, which is on the east side of the Cape Town area still. Boulders Beach is lovely. It's lovely sand, and there are boulders, but there's like rock pools and things. So the sea's so calm, and there are lots of jackass penguins there. And further up from that is Fishhook, which also lovely, lovely, lovely long beach, and it goes out far, far, far. And sorry, I'm using South African slang, I guess. And you can, float in the sea, and it's warm and it's lovely. There are some lovely places that you can go and swim in the sea that don't have the sharkies, but it's always a risk that you take. Yes, they hurt when they bite. They do. Yeah, they have teeth. Swans have teeth as well. So do ducks, Mel. So do ducks. Right, guys, it is again late. It's 7:20 almost. I'm going to head off. I've got a film to watch tonight, Tarot. I think I mentioned it at the start. It looks like a horror. It's on Netflix. I will let you all know what happens, if it's worth watching tomorrow. I did watch last night a movie on Prime called The Coming. It was a bit weird, and to be honest, a bit shit. So don't watch it. You'd be wasting your time. There was a certain level to it that was interesting, but it was like one of those movies where I wasted time. I could have done something else during that time. Fergal Sharky, a scary half shark, half gold that'll pinch your chips. Yeah. Got detention when coming home. Teacher didn't believe I got bit by a penguin in Africa. Really? Wow. Your teacher wasn't perhaps a very good teacher if they didn't know that. But then again, did they have Google at the time? Or did you have to go to the library and look through the Dewey Decimal System to find the book that you were wanting at the time? Right, guys, I'm going to head off. It is time for my pudding. I am having raspberries and blackberries and yogurt and a meringue nest crumbled up on top. Nice and sweet. But it is fat-free yogurt, so there's no flavour in it. It's just plain Greek yogurt that's fat-free. I will see you all on Friday afternoon, 3 p.m. for the What the Fuck show. If you want to join in, it is where I talk about what the fuck, stuff that's gone on that is just like, what the fuck. So I'll see you then. Thanks, guys, for being here. If you haven't hit the like button already, please do. If you would like to make a donation to the channel, you can pop over to the Buy Me a Coffee page. The link is in the description, in the chat box at the top. It's the pinned comment. And thank you to all of my moderators tonight for everything that you do, and to everybody who has joined in the chat. You're absolutely brilliant. Thank you for the lovely chats, and see you on Friday. Blessed be. Mwah. Bye, guys. I've got to figure out how to end this stream now, because there's no button. Where's the button? The button's vanished. Ah, it's moved up there. Bye, guys.